welcome to, first of all, Jordan Arts, who is a patient and is a friend of mine. We just got done doing the patient-related activity, and I just wanted to welcome him on this miscellaneous podcast. We don't really have a name for it. It was previously called Yakking with Yak, and we've got a whole host of other things. So, Jordan, welcome, and thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, it's the first time I've actually had my teeth done and done a podcast at the same time. So,
yeah, or one after the other.
Exactly. Thanks for having me. At least I got a good smile for the podcast. So.
Yeah, we kind of twisted his arm and brought him here on the pretenses of teeth-related things, and then we were like, nah, let's talk to him and see what's going on. But as I said to him, I mean, it's just lovely to know what goes on in artists like yourself and what goes on, behind the scenes and in your industry. So just now I was saying, this is something we don't actually even have to use. This is just a chat between mates that we happen to have on recording that I may or may not use, but it's always good to have something that, we can both look back at some stage of our lives and be like, oh wow, I knew that guy I know that guy is really cool. Yeah, and you're one of the cool guys that I do know.
Especially as an artist, I think it's important to speak on camera and, for people to connect with you on a deeper level than just your music. So now I've really been trying to just, put yourself out there, even if you're not as comfortable in the beginning. Just like help people know who you are behind the music and the person you are, because that's what people connect with these days. So I think just putting yourself out there and, just chatting and, being yourself in front of camera, I think is so important for artists to do these days.
Yes, exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head there with, alluding to being your authentic self. You and I know an artist also is one of my favorite artists, RYX, otherwise known as. In fact, that's the last time I saw you. We were at... I wouldn't call it a gig. It was a bit of a personal interaction with him. It was in Langa, in Cape Town. I was there from I guess if you want to call it humanitarian perspective, because we part-sponsored one of the initiatives that he has. So they brought me through to go on a tour with the kids in the township. But he's got this initiative that he's currently running, which is pre and post his concerts that he's doing. He's got a North American tour and a European tour that he's doing. But he, as I said, before and after his concerts, he has one-on-one, well, not one-on-one, but more intimate crowds that he has with his guests, that he does breathwork exercises and meditation and sometimes yoga, and you get to interact with him. And for me, that was phenomenal last year when we met him, because it was a whole day of interaction. I was a bit starstruck when I did meet him, but after maybe 15, 20 minutes or so of him and I interacting directly, we got to speak about himself, what keeps him going. And for me personally, I think that's important for guys like yourself. I mean, you're quite big, and your name is quite synonymous with quality and spectacular performances. Your onstage performance is even great, and just you as a person. I mean, you're such a great person, but people only get to experience 10% of who you are, and that is your work. But you're so much more than that. Do you want to elaborate on that? Connecting more deeper with your audience.
I'm sure Rai did that for a reason, that when you're performing, you are pulled left, right, and center. You go to a festival or even a show where thousands of people are watching you, and how are you going to give those people your time? You can't really connect with every single one of those people beyond the music and the performance. So I actually heard him speak about it, and he said that it was more creating a space not just for them but for him, to do some breath work and to just calm his mind and his nerves before going and performing on stage. So I've also found that at festivals or even meeting other artists, you get this brief 5-second greeting. You try and connect in such a short space of time. And that's why I think building this online community where you can show another part of yourself, that makes a big difference. because people feel like they already know you before they come and greet you, compared to other artists that just, show their music. You don't really know. They got a little bit more of a mysterious vibe, which works for them.
Yeah.
But I just feel personally, I connect more with Rai because he's so open, and even being able to speak to him that day also just opens up yourself to other possibilities and connections with people, and just giving at the end of the day, because you have to be selfless. And that's how you connect with people. It's not all about, I play music because I want to make money. That's not. It's because you want to connect with people and create a space that people can connect with each other. So I think that's kind of, maybe his goal and my goal at the end of the day too.
Yeah, I get that. I get that you guys have a very similar trajectory. And we'll see you one day with your international tour, and we'll come to your breathwork and meditation exercises. But on that note, it's not on my script here, but how do you, center yourself? Because I can understand you pulled in all different directions. I mean, just this weekend you did the Purified tour with Nora Impure and all the other artists that were there, and they're big names. They travel extensively, as does yourself. And how do you stay connected with people? How do you make sure that you're in a safe environment where you have people that you can rely on and trust? Because I know you do have your girlfriend, but she's in the UK. You're not always traveling with her. So do you travel with an agent, or do you travel with people you know? How does it work?
I travel by myself. I've done tours in America, India, Brazil, and I've just done it completely by myself. When I was in India the last time, I had a tour manager, which was really nice, because if you're in a foreign country where people can't speak your language, you don't have signal for Google Translate, that's when it becomes quite challenging.
Yeah.
But I think it's the promoters you work with.
Yes.
Because they organize everything from your transport, your hotels. So if you work with a promoter that isn't organized and isn't able to, plan your trip properly, especially when you're in a foreign country that can't speak English, then it becomes a challenge. But that's also what I love. I love being in such a foreign place that it's not so easy. It becomes a bit of a journey and
an adventure.
And it's an adventure. I love it. And, a lot of people talk about the traveling, and it is hard, but I'm so grateful to be able to travel to different parts of the world and still do what I love, connect with people. And that's the beauty of music. Everyone's there to connect, to have a good time. I don't think, compared to going on a business meeting, people are trying to get something out of each other. Of
course, yeah.
So I love it, but it does come with some challenges with the traveling,
Yeah, no, of course. I was commenting on your physique, and you are as deck as you were the last time I saw you, and I'm thinking, how is it possible? I mean, I live here, and I have my gym and people and motivation and diet around me all the time, but I can't stay as consistent as you have been. So well done to you for keeping your physique.
See my dad, he's quite stacked. So I think maybe it's just genes or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we were talking about travel, and that's something from the last time I saw you before meeting you last year in Cape Town. Africa Connect, that's when we saw each other the last time. I wouldn't say, not professionally, it's not like I'm in the industry. But there was a show that you did. It was a one-man show. What would you call that, by the way? What's the genre of that?
I would say it was just a live recording, basically.
Live recording.
I've tried to do more of those now. I've done one in the UK at the Seven Sisters. It's these beautiful hills close to Brighton. I've also got one now in Cape Town, close to Camps Bay. So just kind of picking the right music for that landscape. Same as when I met you. Cradle of Humankind is such an historic South African landmark, and I think just goes beyond you just, here's my song. You're performing it in a beautiful location, and it's live. That's the biggest difference. Even with DJs, the songs, it's not live because you're kind of DJing, you're playing
you're mixing
the songs
at the same time, yeah.
So I think you get to showcase beyond just playing shows in front of a crowd, because I can add in more instruments, I can add in kind of more stripped back versions of my songs. So I really enjoy those live streams and those live recordings, like when I first met you, and I get to meet interesting, cool people like yourself.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, and for the opportunity. It was facilitated by our mutual friend Danny, who called me just now along the same or a similar sort of request, because this weekend is Anjuna Deep and there's Tenlika, Alien Fjord, and I'd love to shoot them drone photography wise to get some cool FPV shots. And at that stage when I first began, I mean, you were probably the first person I did something professionally for. Otherwise I'd go shoot like the clouds in the sky and horizons and just abstract things. But thank you for the opportunity at that stage to allow me to get it done. Wherever we post this, I'll put short snippets of what we're talking about then for people to see. So I mean, since then, what has happened? Was I think post-COVID, just after COVID had happened.
Yeah, it's about 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
2 years and a bit, maybe a bit longer.
And I think soon thereafter, I think you left to go to the UK. Tell us about that. How's it been living on the other side of the pond?
It's very completely different dynamic, different industry. I've been learning so much. I think that's the main thing is it's just learning how the industry works in different parts of the world. I lived in the Netherlands for a year, and there it was like the festivals and the electronic music scene. You get quite influenced by that sound. And then going to the UK, I just signed a publishing deal with called Enhanced Music. And they basically, I went for a writing camp with them where they put you in a room with other songwriters, with other producers, which I've never done before. I'd always sit in my little studio at home, write my own lyrics and record it, where you actually have someone there who is just helping you write a song. He's sitting there saying,
and that's their purpose. They specifically...
Exactly, and it pushes you because you kind of... I felt a bit nervous before going because, you get used to your way of writing, and then you sit with some like-minded people and just get their perspective, and we're all there to just make something beautiful. So I think it just helps you expand, and you learn a lot more and meet cool people in the industry, and you're just putting yourself out there. Because when I moved there, I didn't know a single person. And bit by bit, you just we did like some boat parties every year, and just studio sessions with other artists from all over the world. And I felt it was really inspiring, and that's why I love going back there, but still coming home for the season, because you do miss home being that side. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it and just learning. That's what it's about. Still still learning and growing.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, what you just said about keep coming back home. I mean, you take whatever you can from all parts of the world, but at the end of the day, home is home. And that leads me to my next question with regards to other fellow South African artists that have made it internationally, and they perform all around the world, 24/7. You'll see them in Bali, and then the next day they're like performing down the road here at Saint in Sandton, or at Caprice in Cape Town. For example, Coffee and Nora and Pure, and just so many more that I could list. What do you think, from your perspective, allows our local South African artists to keep being attracted to want to come home? What is it about South Africa, did you think, or you? Specifically,
I think especially when I lived in the Netherlands, you are still an outsider at the end of the day. I love learning about other cultures, but there's something about being back home. It's friends, it's family, and South Africa is beautiful. You've seen in Cape Town how the tourism has literally gone through the roof. There's people buying property, there's people trying to just come and visit throughout the whole of summer. So I think South Africa is still picking up, and it's just a beautiful place to be. You want to be close to your friends and family. When you're away from home for too long, you get quite homesick. And you connect with people there, but to form that deeper connection like you do with the people you've grown up with, that's hard to find overseas. So I think it's great to leave and experience, because a lot of my friends from school haven't even left South Africa, and they haven't experienced other cultures. So I think it expands your mind and your understanding of the world a lot more. But then coming home brings you back to your roots. And I think that's super important, just to come back and being close to your friends and family, and South Africa is beautiful.
No, of
And
course.
the weather.
Yeah. I think I thought you were going to start off with the weather. Although recently you've been here a week now, this weather is not dissipating.
Yeah, I
We've
brought the
been having
UK
rain.
weather with me.
Exactly. So you spoke about like-minded people and artists all around the world that you get to meet and get different perspectives from, that you get to bring home now as well, and propagate what you've learned. Any collaborations that we can expect coming up? Do you collaborate with other? I know you do. I've seen one or two. Has Coffee got you on one of his albums?
So I can actually tell you a crazy story about
Yeah.
the first time I ever met Black Coffee, because he played a couple of my songs. One of the songs landed on the tribute album for Virgil Abloh, so there was already a connection from his side to my music. And I was in Camps Bay, and we were with a bunch of friends, and we thought we'd go and take a drive up to this rock, to this lookout point. And as I drive in, this Bentley pulls up behind me, and all my friends were with me, and they said, "No, Black Coffee's behind us." They start freaking out. I said, "Guys, just take a breath, please relax. Let me handle this." Then I went out and said, "Hi, I'm Jordan Arts. Nice to meet you." We exchanged numbers, and I just felt like it was just right place at the right time.
It was meant to be.
Was that literally he left 2 minutes after that.
Yeah. Wow.
So I just felt, even we had a whole bunch of other friends coming, they were running late. It was just that divine timing. And
Was it sunset hour?
Sunset hour. It was
Cape Town sunset hour. It's meant to be.
I know, it was a beautiful synchronicity, and I think there's something planning slow. I can't really speak much about it, but I have been in contact with his team, and I think when the time is right, obviously Coffee's just won a Grammy, so he's not in a rush to make another album.
Yeah.
But with other South African artists, I can't really speak about the unreleased stuff yet.
Yeah, of course.
But I think just expanding from South Africa, also been in contact with a lot of artists in the UK signed to big labels like Injuna Deep and so on and so forth. And I can't really speak too much about the unreleased stuff, but I can just say that there's some really exciting collaborations that are coming up. And I just love making music with different people.
Of course, yeah. No, I know that was a loaded question there, because with you guys, it's always NDAs that are signed before you.
Yeah, you can't say, "Oh, I've signed this track," and then they're like, "Okay, well, sorry, we're not signing you anymore."
Yeah, thankfully you don't have a managing agent around with you. Otherwise, this podcast would have never happened. But on that note, there's just to finalize the industry specific questions. First of all, are there any artists that you would like to actually work with? Number one, and then two, I mean, Anjuna Deep is Danny. He's brought it into South Africa now, well, second year running. But would you ever want to sign with a label like that?
Definitely. I've actually sent them a couple demos, and we're still working on it. I'm trying to work on something with their artists, because a lot of the artists I've worked with in the UK are signed with Injuna. Even my mixing engineer, he's one of Injuna Deep's artists. His name's Because of Art. I've spent a lot of time in studio with them.
His name is Because of Art.
Yeah, because of art. And then we connected, and we were like, we have to get in studio together. It would be a really cool collaboration, like combo of the art. You know?
Because of art.
Or art. To trademark the art.
Yeah.
But I think, with Injuna Deep, when you sign a song with them, it'll only get released in a year's time. So the songs we are creating now for Injuna Deep will probably only get released in about a year and a half's time. So they're constantly working in the future, and that's how a lot of these labels work. It's rare that you find a label that signs your song and then releases it within a month. It's like a whole planning process. You sit with the team, you'd like strategize some marketing strategies and release plans, and it becomes a bit more businessy in a way after the song's actually signed.
No, of course. I mean, recently Elderbrook was around, Alex. And after your show, we had a long chat. It was very long, up till 3-4 in the morning, just talking about all of this stuff. And it almost feels like I'm Danny's spokesperson, because I keep asking everyone, why would you sign to Anjuna Deep? Would you sign to Anjuna Deep? And I love their music. I love the fact that they go and find local artists all around the world.
and it's not, you know, specifically an artist that they would sign to take internationally. It's what they believe in is to find someone local and propagate them locally. And you know, he was actually saying to me, you know, he's got his own sort of label, which is the Elderbrook label, and you know, he's doing really well with it. But also, when you ask people these questions, like I asked you this question now, you see them as an artist. You don't see them as a person that belongs to a family or has kids or has friends or wants to, you know, or start a family or anything for that matter. And, you know, he was telling me that he's got kids and he's enjoying what he does right now. And, you know, he still spends time with his family. In fact, I met his dad and everyone that came here. And that brings me to my question for you is, like, personally, you know, you mentioned earlier on that your girlfriend is in the UK. I don't know if you're allowed to speak about your personal plans. What is it that you are looking to do going forward?
I mean,
I'm not asking if you're going to propose or anything.
No, to be honest, it's very difficult. Long distance is really taxing on a relationship, especially when you're traveling in different parts of the world. So I don't want to really touch too much on relationships right now. But all I can say, it's not easy. I'm sure for Alex, leaving his kids and his wife.
Yes, yeah.
And he's touring non-stop. It must be, that's when it becomes, you want to spend time with your family, you know, at the end of the day, and you love what you do. It becomes more of an obsession. It's such a commitment that people don't really see behind the scenes, that you must love music so much because you have to sacrifice a lot.
Quite a lot for it, yeah.
And you have to sacrifice your personal life and friends and family.
Yeah.
And I love traveling, but it does become quite difficult when you are away for long periods of time. But at the end of the day, I'm so grateful and I love what I do, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, of course, definitely. And to touch on that as well, you mentioned your friends, you know, that haven't left South Africa, you know, the kids that you grew up with at school. Which school did you go to, by the way?
I actually went to Round Park, which is
that's in the north. Yeah. Your dad's still in Johannesburg.
Yeah, he's in Johannesburg.
And your mom's in Cape Town.
Mom's in Cape Town, yes.
Okay. So how much of time do you kind of spend between the two cities?
I mean, often I'm literally here for a week, then Cape Town for a week, then fly to Mozambique, play a show there, quickly come back to Joburg, catch a connecting flight to Durban.
Yeah.
Then from Durban back to Cape. So it's constantly just flying between.
Yeah.
But I have friends in Durban that I stay with when I'm there. So it's nice to just have friends and family wherever you go. It really makes such a big difference.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about you that I also wanted to mention was the last time that I saw you perform at Cradle for Human. No, look, I saw you perform after that, but you know, behind the scenes, you're literally a one-man show. Like, you set up your own stuff, you bring your own mixes, your instrument as well, you carry it. In fact, that day you didn't want any help, and I was like, well, that's why this guy is so jacked. He's carrying his own stuff everywhere. But do you have someone now to help you, or you still?
I actually do, and now I have someone.
Okay.
He's actually a friend from high school, and I've shown him how to kind of help me with all my cables, and I've got a camera, so he helps me film as well.
Yeah.
And it's also just nice to have someone to be there with you, you know, to travel, and we can stay a bit after the show and enjoy it at the same time, and we just have fun. It's like being with your friend on the road, and you know, that part makes it a lot easier, just having someone to, you know, help roll up your cables, and
no,
doesn't look so glamorous after your set when you're rolling up your own cables.
And then the next guy is setting up.
Exactly.
Yeah, Danny gave me an opportunity to play at KT's. When was it? Last year, year before last year. It was cool. There was hardly anyone there, but it was awkward when the next guy was coming on, and I was trying to finish my set. And I was thinking about you, like on that day that we finished at Africa, my playground, and you were doing everything yourself and like wrapping up, and I was like, wow, okay, this guy's
off camera,
for the people.
It's not so glamorous.
Yeah. So what's next for the next couple of weeks? Do you want to tell people?
In South Africa, I've got quite a big leg of shows. I'm playing Ultra Main Stage with this year, which is I think going to be my biggest South African show so far. And then from there, I'm playing a big festival in Paris called Marvelous Island with Huggle Thug and Mind Against, Bedouin, some artists that I've really inspired by over the years. And then I'm flying from there to Chicago in the States. I'm playing 2 shows there. So this is only my second time performing in the States. I played in Miami last year, which was really cool.
Yeah. What was that show called?
It was at a venue called Boho House.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it was...
I remember seeing that. And I was like, wow.
Miami is a crazy place. That's a lot of money floating around there, but such a cool experience. And I've got some family in Florida, so my cousins that I hadn't seen in a while came in and watched the show.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I'm just excited to just keep putting myself out there. It's not as easy traveling in Europe, and it actually ends up costing you more money than you're making, to be honest with you. But that's what other artists get comfortable in South Africa. They're not willing to take that risk overseas, even to kind of take money out of their own pocket to try and make the dream happen. Because even if you're playing 3 or 4 shows, it is expensive to stay there for a couple months. But that's what it takes. You have to take risks. You have to put yourself out there. And even if, if you get booked for a big festival in Paris, you will find your way there for sure,
definitely.
And I think that's just, for other artists, don't be scared to take risks, because you have to take risks in this industry. You have to, it's also a lot of trial and error. You have to go to a country. I mean, I moved to the Netherlands. I had no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to stay. I just booked an Airbnb for a week, and somehow things started working out, because I feel that when you put that energy out there and you take those risks, it will come back to you. So I think that's just my advice to any artists that are feeling like they want to get out of South Africa, is you just have to do it. Don't have a plan, because sometimes plans don't work out and you're disappointed. If you don't have a plan and you just go put yourself out there, good things can come to you.
No, thank you so much, Jordan. And thank you for taking the risk and, going and exploring yourself and creating this energy for yourself. And you being so self-centered inspired a lot of people. I mean, just the person that cleaned your teeth just now, she's heavily inspired by you. She might have made it seem like she doesn't know you're introducing herself. When you guys met, it was very cute, but aspirational. And even everyone else that I meet at the same place that you started, Katie's Palace, they were like, oh, Jordan Knotts, he first started here. And that's what we want to see, both in South Africa, in the industry and out of the industry. We want to see our people make it, and you're our people. So we're all the way behind you, from now till ultra main stage to who knows what's next after this internationally. But thank you so much for being on our podcast. We'll see you professionally, intra-orally in a few weeks' time from now. And maybe we'll do another catch-up then for people to see. But for now, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yak. I appreciate it so much. And you're also just a beautiful person that I connect well with. And just happy to be here. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Resonate. Ciao, buddy.
Bye.